So I'm just waiting, see popping in, the participant popping in. One moment, everybody. Give me 1 minute. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the CARES Academy August webinar on emotional intelligence. This month, we do have Ms. Tatanisha Frazier. She's a CARES, she's a CPS AD. She's also a CPS mental health. And she's also the owner of Prevention with Intention LLC, and she will be our presenter today. I'll turn it over to her one moment after I complete the housekeeping. So this webinar is interactive, right? So that means that you can ask questions by either typing them in the question and answer box or by raising your hand. So if you raise your hand, once we get to a point where we can ask a question, we'll unmute you and allow you to speak. So please, with the put the questions in the comments in the question and answer box, or raise your hand, because we definitely want to hear from you. This webinar qualifies for 1.5 CEUs, and that's if you stay with us from the beginning to the end, which is going to be at 1 p.m. Also, within the last few months, we have been sending out webinar certificates, so please expect your certificate in about a week. Give me about a week to send them out, okay? And I'll get them to you. If you don't get them in about a week, by next Friday, then please feel free to email me and remind me to do it. And with that, with pleasure, I give you Tatanisha Frazier. Unmute, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Loree. I first of all want to thank the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse for the opportunity to present this information around emotional intelligence. I'm so proud to say that I'm a certified addiction recovery empowerment specialist, and I've been doing this work for quite a few years now. And what I will tell you is that it has been a real gift to be able to be honored, to be respected, and to be valued in the work that I do. And I am grateful for the opportunity. So I want to just say a few things. I'm thankful to everyone. I'm thankful to every experience I've ever had, good or bad and different. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I get presented with on a regular basis, not centered around just my work, but just in my own personal life. And so one of the things I'd like to share is that emotional intelligence is something that I had to learn. I didn't always know that the way I reacted to things and the way I responded to things were different. I didn't understand reaction and responding. And so what I'd like to tell you is today, my company, Prevention with Intention, has decided that we are going to be intentional about soft skills. And I'll talk more about that later in the presentation, but today we're going to talk about emotional intelligence. And I call this self-care. Self-care in the workplace, self-care in your own personal life, but this type of work is self-care. And I will emphasize that over and over again. I am so glad that everyone is here. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to cover, so we'll get right into it. If you are on your computer screen, you will have a very unique experience. If you are on your phone, that's okay as well, but please be safe. If you have to listen in today and that's all you can do, that is fine. That is actually sometimes better. To just be in a position to listen. If you are multitasking, and I'm being really transparent because we've done it, we've all done it. We tried to multitask, listen in. One of the really great things about the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse is that they make these available to us, so we can always go back and listen. So I would encourage you to do that. I want to say that I'm really proud of you. As a certified peer specialist, as a person in long-term recovery, what you do and how you do it is valuable. It's valuable. And I want you to know that I'm proud of you. I want to say thank you for the work that you do. I want you to know that no matter what you're doing in whatever place in the state of Georgia, or if you are joining us and you are not in Georgia, just know that what you do, if there's no one has ever told you, I am so proud of you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for persevering. Thank you for your due diligence. Thank you for your level of understanding, your patience. We are really working hard in the trenches doing the work. So I just want to say thank you. I'm very proud of you. Today is about bringing awareness to our workforce, and Prevention with Intention made an investment in the workforce. And I did that because there's some work that I feel, this is my own personal feeling, that we need to do as recovery coaches, as certified peer specialists in whatever areas we work. In behavioral health, it is very challenging work. And so one of the things that I would like for us, and I'm going to respectfully challenge you to listen with an open mind, to just be mindful that I want you to check in with the truth of who you are as you hear information. And your first inclination will be to want to identify someone else that you recognize they have a certain behavior. I'm going to ask you today to take a look at you. Self-care is the operative word here. Self-care. And I say all this to say, because I did this deep inner work, and I just want to share the work that I did. And so what you
Hey,
see.
Tanisha.
Yes.
I just wanted to say one other thing too. I just want to say, tell them that we need to tell them thank you for all of them that did the pre-assignment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to ask a few of you to share. So if you remember what you shared about, what you wrote for your pre-assignment, I'm going to ask maybe one or two people to share. So if you could be prepared to do that and raise your hand, Loree, you can identify them in the chat. Loree, I just wanted to ask you a question about the slides. Can you tell me what slides you see right now?
What long-term recovery looks like, although the words look a little blurred, but we see what long-term recovery looks like. And then before you really get deep in it, can we go ahead and do the first poll once you get a chance? But yeah, somebody else said it's blurry to them as well.
Okay, I do apologize for that. I don't know why it's looking, let's see. Is that better?
No, we don't see it at all. It's just a black screen now. Do you see anything?
All right, I do apologize for that, y'all.
Just read it off. It's okay.
Okay.
Read what you want to read. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So I do apologize for these slides being blurry. I don't even understand it because it's very clear on this side. But okay. So you know, this is what long-term recovery looks like. When you see this picture of me standing here, standing in my truth, it is simply because I did the deep inner work, right? And that work took me some time. It took a little bit of time. And what I will say is that it's not easy. It's not easy, but we do it. We do it anyway. So if we can go ahead and do our first poll, that would be great.
All righty. Give me 1 second to pull it up. So everybody, can we please get 100%? Hold on. Let me do something. Yeah, relaunch RSA. Yes. There you go, everybody. We would like to know who all is here. So please participate and click. Either you do y'all, yeah, I'm a peer providing support to people seeking or in recovery, a family member or close friend of a person in recovery, and y'all see the rest. So I give you a couple of seconds to do that, and then I'll end it. Okay, thank you. Hey guys, so we got about 89% has, well, about 100% voted. So I'm going to go ahead and share the results. So we have almost everybody in here, 89% of us are a peer surviving support to people seeking or in recovery. Do you see the results, Tatanisha?
I do. I do. Welcome. Welcome, family members. Thank you, certified peer specialists, people who are working in and involved in administration. This is great. Good mix of people here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. One of the things that I'm really proud of is the ability for us. Can you tell me what slide you see? Something happened.
Your picture with what long-term recovery looks like.
All right, so let me tell you what happened, okay? So what happened is, you know, I came straight out of CARES training, and I went into my very first job as a certified addiction recovery empowerment specialist. And I was very excited. I had my manual. I always encourage you, when you start out going into the work, to really go back to your manual. That is a lot of valuable information. And what I will tell you is that if we use that manual, it will help keep us informed, right? But if we go to work and we forget about the manual, we miss opportunities to use the work, the training that we receive. So I want to encourage you to always go back to your manuals. So what happened to me is I was getting beat up pretty bad at the job. The employer that I had really wanted me to come in and do another type of job. But I thought I was coming to be a certified addiction recovery empowerment specialist. And what I was asked to do was totally out of context of what a CARES is. And so that was very difficult. And, there were certain skills that I came with and abilities that I came with, but I was lacking certain skills, right? There were things that were good that I did well. I was really good at communicating to please others, not necessarily to get my point across. I was really good at listening to others and offering feedback. I could discern things very well. I'm still really good at that. And I could do things to keep the peace. I was an objective thinker. Those are things that I was good at, right? But in the job, there are other things you're required to do. And if you don't have the skills, it really makes it difficult for you at work. So let's do another poll. I want to see, just get a sense of, Laree, whatever poll question that you have up that we could do, just to kind of get a sense of what people know and what they're thinking.
Okay.
I will tell you that you can start out being one way, but you can most certainly grow into something better or improved. And this work will help you do that if you're willing to do the work. And I call it that deep inner work. So emotional intelligence is a branch of what?
All right, we almost got 100%. Almost. Come on, y'all. We got about 10 more people. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it.
Right.
And share the results. So the results are what, Tatanisha?
All right, it looks like we have sociology, psychology. All right, very good. Psychiatry and anthropology. So you guys really do understand the difference between what branch of emotional intelligence. And I just want to say, I'm going to be really transparent with y'all. I'm so nervous and I'm really excited. So I'm a little, just excited to be here. So just bear with me. And I'm really glad that you are, able to be a part of this process with me. You actually are making my dreams come true. And I'm so eternally grateful. All right. So let's move on to soft skills, right? Let's talk about soft skills for just a minute, because it's important that we understand what soft skills are. And this is the reason why I started Prevention with Intention. And I started it a really long time ago, but I rebranded it around soft skills and professional development, coaching and training. And so you'll be able to go to my website, look at that information to get more details. But what are soft skills? Can we get someone to volunteer? Tell me if they can see that and can read what soft skills are.
Y'all raise your 1 second, Tatanisha. I'm finna get to them. Somebody had their hand raised. It's gone, attendees. I don't know who it is.
Okay, that's okay.
I can't
I'll
see it. Hold on. Oh, okay, there you go.
okay.
Lindsay, then Lindsay, there you go.
Thank you, Lindsay. Read it slow now. Don't read it too fast. Okay.
Okay, we can see it, but it's a little blurry.
Okay. I'm not sure why, but thank you. Do you think you can read it?
I'll try.
Okay.
What are soft skills anyway? Simply put, I can't read that.
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's okay. I got you.
Soft skills are the personal attributes that allow us to effectively relate to others.
Mhm.
These skills enhance our personal, is that personal? Interactions and lead to a greater performance and satisfaction.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's it
All
for
right.
me. It's a little blurred.
Oh man, that is.
That's
Tell you
okay.
what.
That's all right. It happens. We
Mhm.
just gonna move forward. That's
Okay.
okay.
All right. So soft skills, simply put, are personal attributes that allow us to effectively relate. If there's anyone who is not on their phone and can look up effectively relate and personal attributes, one person do one and the other do it in the chat. I want us to really understand what effectively relate means. When you get that up in the chat, let me know. While you guys are doing that, I'll read the bottom. Unlike hard skills, which are technical and knowledge skill sets we bring to our work, soft skills are interpersonal and can be applied in a broader way of situations. Soft skills encompass both personality traits, such as optimism, and abilities, which can be practiced, such as empathy. Like all skills, soft skills can be learned. Soft skills can be learned, right? So let's get into, while we get those definitions in the chat, I want to just ask who is available to share their pre-assessment.
Raise your hand if you want to share your pre-assignment answers, if you remember them. All right, Robbie. There you go, unmute yourself.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Robbie.
And Tanisha, you are doing fantastic. So don't sweat it, okay? Lori, I love you. I answered the question from and I didn't have to think back too far. I was in a situation, I was at another job, and I can be a toxic person when I'm not taking care of myself. Extremely toxic. And I'm just going to keep it real. I hurt people when I'm not taking care of myself. And so for about 2 weeks, I had been snappy with staff, just ignoring people, talking only when I had to, just had this attitude. So it kind of blew up one evening. We were in the office, and one of the staff said, you know, I'm just so tired of you. I can't do this with you. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, whenever you get in your moods, it affects everybody. And, you know, then I went there with that person and said, well, I don't like what you do because it affects everybody. And we went back and forth. And at that time, there were actually some clients in the office listening to us go back and forth. It ended up, and I think I did put this on my assignment, it ended up with both of us in tears, because we both were going through a lot of stuff and we were not taking care of ourselves. The both of us were not taking care of ourselves. And so what we did was went back to my office, closed the door, sat down, and just let it all out, you know, and we were able to talk through the fact that, you know, I'm not, you know, at that time I wasn't making a lot of meetings, checking in with my sponsor. My mental health was, you know, pain. I was tired because I worked a lot of hours. And on her end, she wasn't in recovery, but she had some things going on in her life. And what we made a vow to do with each other was to recognize when it starts up, and you know when you finna start up, when it's gonna start to happen. We made a decision when we started feeling some type of way, we would let each other know. We made a vow to do that. We both went out and we apologized to the clients because it was so unprofessional what we did. But the clients were like, you know, life happens or whatever, you know. But we recognized how unprofessional it was, but we made the vow to check in with each other, how each other are doing. We also started a twice weekly check-in with the whole staff.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
whatever was going on and something we felt like we needed to talk about, we were going through something in our personal life that we felt okay to share it. We started doing that twice weekly, and it was such a big help. But the self-care is so important.
Yes.
Nobody can take care of yourself better than you but you.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
just that simple. And it's important to recognize when those toxic behaviors come. Because when they come up, they're going to come out. And
Yes.
you never know where they're going to come out. So you really have to be careful with that. But I just wanted to share my little piece.
Thank you so much. You know, what's really powerful about what happened in your situation is that you were able to come back and have an honest, self-reflective conversation and come up with a plan to help you do better, right? And some of the things that you identified that are so important is that when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not taking care of your emotional state, when you're not taking care of how you eat, and we'll talk more about that in this process. When you're not taking care of yourself, it comes up and out in your work and in your personal life. So this form of self-care is so important because it affects everything, right? So let's get into.
You have two more hands. I don't know. You have one more hand. I don't know if you want to go to that one too.
Yes,
but
yes. If you could be really, and not to say that the person that went before was not brief enough, I just want to just emphasize that we have a lot to cover. So I want everyone to just kind of be as brief as they possibly can with their answers. But I want to hear from you. So thank you. Who's next?
Okay, Anna.
Hi, my name is Anna. I had a situation at work one time where one of the participants actually she was transitioning out in a few weeks, and she actually relapsed and decided she was gonna leave instead of staying in treatment. And the hard part, besides her, you know, deciding to leave, was she had children that she had just got back into her custody, and she was leaving them as well. So the whole situation was really hard. It was kind of just like, it caught me by surprise, and I literally had her daughter in my arm as she was leaving. And I think that I did a really good job as far as holding my emotions to myself, because I was at work and because I had a child to take care of at that moment. But I know as soon as I got home, my emotions just, you know, came out. But that's just an example of some of the stuff that may happen, you know, working in treatment. And it's I don't know. I think it just the last part is as far as, you know, getting home and like just feeling like emotionally drained.
Mhm,
Um, that's something that I would like to like look into.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
kind of just getting better at that and just kind
Thank
of
you.
not feeling so drained.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. One of the things about emotions is that we can't get away from it, right? We cannot get away from our emotions. We can stuff, we can push them aside, we can act like they don't exist, but they will come out somewhere. So I want to thank you for sharing your experience and really wanting to be able to identify how you can be better and how you can be less drained. Hopefully we'll be able to tap into some of that information today. Today's objectives, so we're going to talk about self-management, managing our emotions, better communication, benefits of emotional intelligence, right? The benefits of it are going to be so awesome. And when I tell you that I live a life of integrity, I live a life of peace. I have challenges in my life, in my work life, in my personal life, but because I understand and I am reaping the benefits of emotional intelligence, I can tell you it's the best thing since sliced bread. So how we relate to emotional intelligence in the workplace and how we balance optimism and pessimism. And sometimes that's hard to do when you work with people who are on both sides of the spectrum, and then you have to figure out how to balance that in your own work life, right? So one of the things I want to talk about is, defining, practicing self-management, self-awareness, self-regulation, and self-motivation. And how do we do that? How do we understand and how do we use, what do we use to manage our emotions? That's important. Like one of the things that happened to me over and over is that I allowed people to take me places that only I had the power to shift. So anger is my go-to place and cussing is my second go-to place. And that comes from the lifestyle that I lived in my addiction and in my personal life, and having to carry that over into sobriety is not a good look. And so I had to figure out some things. And so again, I will respectfully challenge you. I cannot see anyone, so just know that I'm talking to a screen, but I feel your energy and I'm so glad you were here. I want us to be able to relate to emotional intelligence in the workplace in ways that will help you be better. All right, how you verbally communicate with people, how you identify, relate, balance, and how you effectively impact others. Loree, do we have another poll question?
Yes, we do. One
Right.
second, we'll go ahead and pull it up.
Sure.
All right. Self-awareness is a skill of perceiving your what? I'll give y'all about 20 more seconds because we only got about 10 of y'all, 15, 20. Okay, come on, y'all.
Come on in.
It's out of the 50. We have 50 people in here. I need to see about 50.
It's okay if you don't know. We will learn today. There was a time when I did not know, so it is perfectly fine, whatever answer you think it may be.
Okay, I guess that's going to be it, about 40. Oh, it's still going up. Okay.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Let's see.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it and share the results. So what, number A?
Yeah. Yeah. So self-awareness is a skill of perceiving your knowledge, your skills, your responsibilities, and your values. Self-awareness. So it's what you know, it's what you know how to do, it's you knowing what you're supposed to do and how you value that, right? And so that is part of becoming self-aware. It really is. All right. All right, so the role of emotional intelligence at work. So emotional intelligence, I'm telling you, is a game changer. If you hear anything today that resonates with you, write it down. Write it down. There are two books that I am big fans of. One of them is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. It is an excellent book for leaders, for people who are working in behavioral health. It really doesn't matter who you are. It is a great book to help you in the work that you are doing. And Kevin, there's the chapter that I most resonate with is chapter 3 in Brene Brown's book. And I want you to, if you ever get a chance to download that audiobook, because I know we're busy, right? We're busy, and a lot of times we don't have time to sit with a book and read it. So if you can download that book, I promise you it'll be greatly beneficial to you, and it would be well worth some effort.
Say the name of it again.
Brene Brown, Daring Greatly. I mean, Dare to Lead. I'm sorry, Dare to Lead.
Okay, thank you.
And the other book, now this book has a little cussing in it, but it's a really good book by Kevin Hart. And you would think, you might not think Kevin Hart would be a good person to do a self-help book. Game changer. The name of that book is called The Decision. It's funny. It's very, very important and valuable information. And it's, it really helps you kind of dig deep. And I love that book. So those are two books, if nothing else. Download those books on Audible and listen to them when you're in the shower, listen to them in your car. Chapter 3 in Brene Brown's book is a very, very good book. And chapter 3 is about the armory. So let's talk about the role of emotional intelligence at work. You know, how you feel about yourself, how you interact with people, how you handle conflict is directly reflected in the quality of work produced, right? So your social and your personal proficiencies are developed as a result of emotional intelligence. They are, I mean, it's your social and your personal proficiencies that help you develop your emotional intelligence. So we all know about empathy. I mean, that's why we're certified peer specialists and CARES, is because we have empathy. We are aware of other people's feelings, and we exhibit compassion because we have this lived experience, right? Our intuition is an inner sense of feelings of others. So sometimes this does not always work well. Sometimes our intuition is a little jaded, just because one of the things I believe that if we're not healthy in our body and in our gut, we tend to not always make our best decisions because our intuition is just a little off. And everything that I say about things not being a certain way is because I've had that personal experience. So when I tell a story, it's about my own lived experience with the struggles that I've had in the work. And what I know is that I've been doing this work for a little while, and I've had numerous conversations with people who are struggling in the work, whether it's they're struggling with their managers or managers are struggling with their staff. It goes both ways. And we all have a responsibility to do some of that deep inner work. And I'm here to meet that need. So the political acumen is your ability to communicate, strong influence, leadership skills, and conflict resolution. Sometimes you may be good at one and not so good at the other. But if you begin to become more self-aware and become more emotionally intelligent, you will be able to identify ways to be better at what you do, right? We respond to how people bring their energy to us sometimes, and sometimes we have to kind of sit with and allow people to be who they are and not take it on. And I'll tell you a personal story about that later, but it changed my life when I understood that I was allowing people to have more power over my body and how I reacted to things. So the personal proficiencies that we can possess are self-awareness, and that's understanding your own emotions. The ability to assess oneself as well as display confidence. So as I sit here today, I am confident in who I am as a woman who can effectively communicate, but there was a time when I was not able to sit here and do this. I was not able to sit here and do this and not take on what people were thinking. In my mind, I'm processing, they don't like me, they don't like the way I talk, they don't like where I'm from. You know, I would be processing all of this in my head, and it would keep me from being who I am authentically. right? So we talk about self-regulation, being able to manage one's emotions, maintaining trustworthiness and flexibility, and motivation, being optimistic about situations, having the drive to take initiative and commit until completion, right? So these are things that, you know, ways that you can be emotionally intelligent at work, and we'll talk more about that as we get through this presentation. All right, so if you can put in the chat, self-awareness, oh, we already did this. We did this one, right?
Yes.
I think so, okay, all right.
What was the second, what was that second question though? The answer to the second poll question, which
A.
A, okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Knowledge,
That's all I needed.
skills. Okay, knowledge, skills, responsibilities, and values. All right. If you can put in the chat, the answer to this one is self-regulation is also known as what? A, self-esteem. B, self-awareness. C, self-confidence. Or D, self-control. Self-regulation is also known as A, B, C, or D. What are you seeing on that side? All right, all right, all right. I see it now. All right. There we go. Yes, answer in the chat, yes. Good, good, good. The correct answer is D, absolutely, absolutely. Self-control. So when you can self-regulate, you have self-control. When you allow your emotions to take you everywhere, it's very difficult to self-regulate. You have to figure that out, and that's something we could talk about at a later date. All right. So I just want to share this little girl right here. This is what I found out about myself, is that I operated from the space of an unhealed little girl. For a really long time, that's how I operated. My emotions drove my actions and got me in a lot of trouble, even as an adult. I had no peace, and I allowed other people to dictate my emotions. It was rough, it really was. What I found is that I needed to learn how to relate to others. And I began doing the deep inner work in my recovery required, and I found my wellness through learning what gifts and skills I bring, right? Once you learn who you are, nobody can take that away from you, right? And so I came into this work not really knowing who I was. I knew that I wanted to help people, and helping people is very broad, right? And what I learned is being clear and concise about what it is that I want to be doing is important. So helping people is a blanket statement. Being specific about how you want to help people will help you not be the word that Brene Brown uses, hustling for your worth. Hustling for your worth means that whatever they tell you to do, whatever they ask you to do, you do it. And if you don't do well, you let it take you out the game, or you let it distress you in such a way that you lose sleep, or you react emotionally. And so this little girl right here that you see on this picture, it was a hurt little girl who experienced trauma. And I carried that through my life. And even after I got sober and I did some work and I became a little bit more self-aware, I still found myself acting from that place. So what I'd like for you all to do is, I'm going to go to the next slide, and I want you to identify some of your negative traits and put them in the chat, right? What I learned is that this little girl right here did not know about managing her emotions. She was not taught. She was taught to shut up, don't cry, be tough, and don't say anything. That's what she was taught. So all of my emotions would come out in ways where I would throw temper tantrums, I would bite things, I would bang my head up against the wall, I would scream, I would pull my own hair. These are the kinds of things that I did. So what I'd like to say to you is that if you are operating from your trauma place, that I want you to begin to really ask yourself how you can shift from that place. Because we say we're doing the work and that we are operating in our wellness, but as soon as something happens, we get something happens and it shifts and we're unable to do the work. And I can tell you, I did that. I ended up in the hospital. I lost my voice. I had to have surgery on my throat. I've had to have surgery on my stomach. I've been depressed. I've been a lot of things in this work. And I at some point, there were people in my life who asked me some pertinent questions. All right, do we have another poll question?
We do have another poll question. Hold on, I'll get it for you.
All right.
We have 6 poll questions. So this is poll question number 4.
Okay.
And it says, what is the most important thing for understanding your emotional meanings? All right, y'all. So far, only 4 people. Okay, it's going up. So we have 44. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close it. And these are the results. Do you see it, Tanisha?
Oh, very good. All right. So we have some level of understanding. What is the most important thing for understanding your emotional meanings? Finding the underlying reason of a certain emotion. And that takes me into a very important story. I was working with a very beautiful person who was kind, who was patient, who was understanding, who was compassionate, and we were struggling to work together. She had all these great qualities, I have all these great qualities, but we were struggling to work together. And it wasn't that we were being mean to each other. It wasn't that we were doing things to undermine each other. We were just trying to, I believe, I'll say for me, I was hustling for my worth, right? And so we were bumping heads, right? And one of the things that I found out that I needed to do was I needed to step away from the situation, step away. And the hurt little girl knows how to go crawl under the bed and put her head between her legs. But as an adult, I have a responsibility to my family and my children. And so there are things that I can't do because I have to keep working. And so one of the things that Spirit told me to do was to take a walk. And in that taking a walk, I asked God for help. That's my personal lived experience. And one of the questions I asked myself, why is it that is bothering you so much? Why is that hurting you? Why is that making you feel the way you feel? I asked myself that question. I talked to God, but I really asked myself, what's really happening here? What's the underlying thing, right? And in doing that, what I found out was that I was insecure. I felt like, okay, this person has a degree and I have a GED. That's the truth. I felt insecure. I felt like this person was going to take something from me. Now, everything in the space was contrary to what I was thinking in my head. This was a supportive person who respected me, who valued me, and saw me. But in my mind, I had this story I made up. And the truth was I was insecure. So I want you all to look at some of your negative personality traits. And I want you to put them in the chat. And I would like for 2 people to volunteer to share just a little bit about their personality traits, the one that's most glaring for you. And as you can see, I have highlighted angry and defeated. And I have angry and defeated because angry is the first place I always go to. That's my go-to. Defeated is what I felt in that job, in that particular work situation. I felt defeated. Those are my 2 go-to things. And so if you could share in the chat. Yes, yes. Panicky, overthinking, uptight. Oh yeah, yeah, I was told I was very uptight. Yes, repulsive, I can identify with that. Insecure, oh yes, 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 yes. So you guys understand, yes. Yeah, see, nervous, over the top, complacent, yes. Overthinker, ooh, that's a good one. Yes, yes. So this is who we are emotionally. And we have these traits that we carry with us. Ooh, people please. Ooh, you got them coming. Ooh, oh my, yes, yes. Okay, this is part of being self-aware. You know who you are, right? And we want to get to a place of really being able to identify. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want you to recognize that these are your traits, but I also want you to recognize some of your good traits. All right. So let's go in here and let's look at our positive personality traits. These are things that I hear people say about me, and these are things that I know about myself. I know that I am assertive. I know that I speak my truth. I did not always do that. All right. I am definitely honest and reliable, and I do care. And I care more about me now. I care more about me, and I don't have a problem with saying that. All right, loyal. Oh yes, Ashley. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, reliable, energetic, charming. Yes, yes. Thank you. Oh, this is good. Caring, assertive. Yes, yes. Roger, courageous. Yes, principled, empathetic. Thank you, Julie. Joe, thank you. Penny, nice to see you. Here, energetic, courageous, a lot. Oh man, a lot of great qualities here. Yes, thank you. So now you can also identify some positive personality traits. You know, the ones that you hear people say about you the most are things that I would respectfully challenge you to do a little bit of work around that. Okay. These things are things that if you can identify them, you're on your way to being emotionally intelligent, and knowing it and doing something about it is very different, right? So emotional intelligence, can I get a reader? I need 2 readers back to back on both slides. Raise your hand.
Do you see the hands? I can see it. Okay, I'm gonna start with Penny Foskey.
Come on in, Penny. What is emotional intelligence?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Emotional intelligence is a part of you that affects every aspect of your life. Understanding the root causes of your emotions and how to use them can help you to effectively identify who you are and how you interact with others.
All right, thank you.
Experience is not what happens to you, it's how you interpret what happens to you. Aldous Huxley.
Yes, thank you. So that root cause, the root cause in the first experience that I talked about, where I did the quiet contemplation, I went for a walk and I asked myself, what is the reason I am feeling this way? The root cause of that was my insecurity. And so when you can get to a place where you can stop and ask yourself, what is the truth of why you are reacting in the way that you are reacting? Thank you so much, Penny. Thank you so much. This is integral. Understanding the root cause of your emotions means you have to stop. You have to honestly assess and take a look at it.
We have a few more hands up.
Okay, let's read the next slide.
Okay, I'll get somebody to do it. Terusa was next.
Come on, Terusa. How do you feel about your emotional intelligence? You can read the slide and just share a little bit about how you feel about your emotional intelligence.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you.
How do you feel Hi, beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
How do you feel about your emotional intelligence? An employee with high emotional intelligence can manage his or her own impulses, communicate with others effectively, manage change well, solve problems, and use humor to build rapport in tense situations.
Mhm.
The mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
How do you
so,
feel? How do you feel about your emotional intelligence?
well, the irony is, last year this was up on my mirror. I put my goals up on my bathroom mirror so I could see them every day.
Mhm.
Emotional intelligence was one of them. I feel that it's definitely gotten better. One, because I've been able to identify with that well, it ain't even a negative emotion, but the thing underneath it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I've learned, which has been really, really intricate, is that people are made different innately. When I really grasp that, then you stop taking so many things so personal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Terusa.
You're
So when we
welcome.
get to a place of just understanding that it is a lot of work to manage your emotions, your impulses, how you communicate, how you manage change, how you solve problems. It is work. But once you practice it effectively, how you build rapport in tense situations. Let me tell you something. I find ways to laugh about stuff all the time, and it has made my life so much better. So I just want to say that, when you get to a place of understanding what causes you to react or respond, and that means going into quiet contemplation. It really does mean asking yourself some specific questions, and not necessarily that you need to get feedback from other people, but get to the truth of who you are within yourself first, right? And that goes for anybody. That's, management. And here's another respectful challenge. As you are hearing information, if you could deter your mind from thinking about somebody else and how they act and bring that thing right back to you, I promise you, it'll benefit you greatly. All right. So we're going to go through these next couple of slides really quickly. These are things, this is just to bring awareness to you today. These workshops can be done in 1 hour. They can be done in 2 hours. They can be done in a half day, in a full day workshop. And I believe that if we continue to start doing a deeper dive into soft skills, that we will become better together. And I want to encourage us to start doing this work. And I am here to meet that need. So let's talk about self-management, right? Self-management means that you are consistent, you are accountable, you have a plan, you stick to it, you educate yourself, and staying physically fit. Most people that know me know I love to ride bikes. That is part of my self-care. That is where I get the stress out of my body. Do I go to the gym and work out? No, I don't. Do I have a membership? Yes, I do. But I found what I wanted to do. I found something that gives me that space of being fit. I read books. I created a business, and I planned it, and I stuck to my plan, and I'm accountable to all the things that I do. More importantly, myself and my family. Self-awareness. We talked about this, your ability to see your skills and your knowledge. So we come into this work, we want to help people, but we ain't really took a look at our skills. We have not taken a look at our skills, and we get to work, and then they ask us to do something and we don't know how to do it. And then we get emotional because they asked us to do it. They have a timeline, they have a budget, they have things that need to get done, and you're taking a long time to do it. So being aware of what you bring, the value that you bring, will help you with your confidence. And if you have to get more skills and knowledge, then do that. Do that for yourself. Don't just sit around and just hope that your job is going to provide you with everything that you need. I say invest in your own professional development, right? All right. Self-regulation, understanding good pressure, bad pressure, and no pressure, and what that feels like in your body. Because once I started to identify that when my stomach starts to burn, we are in trouble. I have to make a decision real quick. And that is walk away, close my door, take deep breaths, pray, ask for help, tell someone I need help, or just step away completely. All right, self-motivation. So, self-motivation is something that I get up every day wanting to do this work because I am motivated, because someone did it for me. So I have a cause that I work towards every day, and helping people is very specific for me. So I have a plan every day that I get up, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. I don't compare myself to others anymore. I make a conscious effort to not give up. Now I'm in school right now, and ooh, that's a tough one. So if you went back to college at 40 or 50 years old, I salute you, because I honestly, I need all the help I can get there. Don't live in the past, and positive thinking, right? I could not get out of the past, and I stayed in active addiction because I was in the past. All right, poll question. Which of the following is not one of the key elements that improve the self-management skills? Which of the following is not one of the key elements that improve self-management skills?
So do you want to put it in the chat, or I do got a couple of hands raised too. Janine
Okay.
Watts and Rosie Hightower had their hands up, I think.
Okay, come on in, come on in.
You want to allow them to
Yes.
talk now or what?
Sure, sure.
Okay, I'll go with Janine and then Rosie, you're next. There you
Come
go.
on, Janine. Hey, Janine.
Hey, so I actually had my hand raised earlier when she wanted somebody to read.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Anything to
It's
say.
fine.
That's all right, Janine.
Thank you.
It was a
Anyone
lot of
else?
y'all. So, okay, Rosie, there you go.
Yeah, I had my hand raised earlier too, but with this poll question, I would say which of the following is not one of the key elements that improve the self-management skill? And this is a funny question. I'm gonna say education.
Okay, all right. So the correct answer is consistence.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's okay. Thank you.
But thank you for being
Thank
brave
you.
and answering, because we all
Yes,
learning
thank
together,
you.
Rosie. Thank you.
Okay, that's
You're
quite all
welcome.
right. We learn in here. This is part of this
Yes.
is just to bring awareness, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Let's see. Anybody else want to share real quick before we move on?
Raise your hand. I also want to say there's somebody in here with on their phone. The last digits are 2050. If you could please change your name, or so I'll know who you are. Email me who you are so you can get credit for this training. Thank you. But raise your hand. We told y'all this is a participating interactive training. Please.
Come
We
on.
got
Janine.
53 people in here.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Pam, I'm gonna go to Pam because she asked the question in the question box. So I'm gonna unmute you, Pam. There you go. Go ahead with
Hey,
your question, Pam.
Hey, so I didn't know the answer to that one. Hey, Tanisha, I'm excited for you, and I won't go on and on about that, but I love you. And so I didn't know the answer to that other one. So I wanted, could you say more about why is it consistence?
Okay.
The last poll question.
last
Oh,
then,
okay.
then you got Michael Carnes. He's right after that, after Pam.
Okay. Okay, so the answer is, oh, you know what? I do apologize. It is not consistent. It is practicing self-confidence. I'm sorry. All right, so the answer is D, because, you know, one of the self-management things that we have to do is we have to be consistent. So I do apologize for that. It is not B. It is not D, it is B. So which of the following is not one of the key elements that improve self-management skills, and practicing self-confidence is the answer? My apologies. Thank you, Pam.
No worries. Thank you. Yeah, good. All right.
Love you.
Let's go. Love you.
All right, so now we got Michael Carnes. He had his hands raised. Thank you, Pam, though.
Yeah, I just was first off want to say hello again to Tanisha.
Hi,
It was
Michael.
awesome seeing you in Albany that night when you did your last learning. I was attending, and to everyone here who are just awesome people in general. I raised my hand to volunteer to read, but I just wanted to say, someone who went back to school, to college at late in life in their 40s, you can do it. It's not as hard as you think, and you just let yourself surprise yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael, can you go ahead and read that?
I sure
Skills of
can.
emotional intelligence. Thank you.
Skills in emotional intelligence. Developing successful emotional intelligence begins by understanding your emotions and their meanings. With this understanding, you must uncover productive ways to manage your emotions, then use them to benefit yourself and others.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. And yes, if you can manage your emotions, it doesn't just benefit you, it benefits the people around you. And so what I'd like to also say to that is it does take practice. It is not easy to do. But if you can get to the place of understanding those emotions and the root cause, it is a game changer. All right. Here's another poll question. The words that people say are only blank of the message. The words that people say are only blank of the message. What percentage of the message? So when you think about emotions and you're in front of someone and you're seeing them display certain body language, they're telling you something, but the words that people say are only what of the message? I'm always clicking on participants. That's why I wasn't seeing it. Okay, all right. Let's see, what's the answer here? All right, okay. Okay, we got a little mix here. The correct answer is B. The words that people say are only 50% of the message. It's only half. All right. So just be mindful that when people are using their words, that a lot of times you're only getting half of what's really going on in that message, in what they're saying. Uh-oh. All right. Lost my slide. Here we go. All right. So let's move on to how to accurately perceive emotions. So we know that words are half the message. How we listen for the tone in people's voices, how we recognize our own emotions, and how we focus on the message. So these are important ways to really, check in with what is someone really saying. And a lot of times we get caught up in the tone of voice and not what they're actually saying. And I've learned how to not take, when someone is having a difficult time trying to get something across, to take all of that as personal. And sometimes the way people say things doesn't always come out right. So I give myself a break and I give other people a break and say, okay, I may need to know more. So I'm learning how to focus on the message, the things that they're actually saying. And tone does mean a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to other people. So being mindful is what I'm really asking us to do here.
So you have two more hands raised. I don't know if they had a question right now. If it was, well, I believe I know they just came up. So I don't know if you want to do it now or later.
Thank you, Loree. I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, thank you. Hey, Roger, you're unmuted.
Hi, Roger. You're muted, Roger.
Okay. No, I was just trying to, I was offering to read that one slide, so I had my hand up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Roger.
And Sonia.
Sonia,
do you have a question? Unmute, please, or comment.
No, I'm sorry. I hit something accidentally, but hey, Tanisha.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for being here.
Yes, this is good. I'm loving it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So let's talk about using emotions to facilitate thinking. How you feel determines how you view the situation. So if you're not in a good space, sometimes the way you view things may be skewed.
Yes.
And I know we can relate to that. And choosing to be in a good mood is hard sometimes, but it is helpful to just be like, okay, today, I'm not gonna let anything bother me. And if I do, it will be very limited. Like, I give myself time to be angry, hurt, distraught, mad. I give myself time to actually feel my feelings. But I do it in a safe space, and I do it with people that I trust and that will give me good feedback and help pull me out of when I'm in a place of being emotional, right? Because we have to experience our emotions to understand them, right? If we let them lead us, then they get in the way of effective communication. So managing emotions, I mean, it's a conscious task. I mean, like I said earlier, like we're going to be constantly having to take a look at how we react, how we respond, and it's an active task. Knowing what emotion you are exhibiting or understanding the reason for that emotion is not enough to manage your emotions. It's not enough. Managing your emotions is a conscious and active task. And the overall goal is to establish strategies. And just remember, like I said before, your emotions are not the enemy. All right. Those are the two areas that I really wanted to focus on today. There is so much more that I can offer in this emotional intelligence workshop. And we're going to talk about, just really briefly, other areas of emotional intelligence. And once we get toward the end, if we have a little bit more time, I would like to open it up for questions or comments. But more importantly, hopefully you heard something today that will inform you in your life to go back into your personal, going into your deep inner self to ask yourself some very important questions. So other areas of emotional intelligence are, this is a good idea. Let's get someone to read this.
Okay. Bridget Jones.
Come on, Bridget.
Hi, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, Bridget, I'm glad you're here.
Other areas of emotional intelligence: focused listening, asking questions, communicating with flexibility and authenticity. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Articulate your emotions using language and giving in without giving up.
Baby, that right there. Thank you so much, Bridget. Listen, articulating your emotions using language. Remember the little girl I was telling you about who would go in the closet or crawl under the bed and cry and throw fits? We can do stuff like that as an emotions, and sometimes we can use passive aggressive behavior, and our emotions come out and we're not using words. We're not saying you hurt me. We're not saying that I don't understand. We're not saying things, we're not looking people in the eye and telling them the truth about what you're experiencing. And that can be intimidating. Everybody cannot do that. But I would like to invite you into a space where we can practice that together. Because everybody, here's the thing, we are not always empowered to do things because we haven't done the work required, the deep inner work required. And so it's easy for me to say it because I've done it. But if you haven't done it, I'm inviting you into a space where we can practice that together, right? I communicate with authenticity today because I know who I am. And I'm very flexible. If we disagree, I can disagree with you and be okay with the disagreement and move on and don't lose any sleep about it. And if I struggle with it, I have people in my life to help me process. All right, do we have another reader for other areas of emotional intelligence?
Yep, we have Brittany Coleman. There you go. And then we have, I don't know if they were for readers or for comments, but we have two more right after that. We can, if you're not trying to comment, oh, they took their hands down, so.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Brittany.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
All right, other areas of emotional intelligence: using coping thoughts, using relaxation techniques, bringing it all together, disagreeing constructively, the balance between optimism and pessimism, assessing a situation, being zealous without being offensive.
Come on now. See, this
Yes.
right here is huge. Thank you,
Mhm.
Brittany.
Thank you.
So bringing it all together is something that I've had to learn how to do in terms of really processing through my emotions. We're going to go through a couple of slides really quickly. They are going over everything that we just read, but I just want to run through them so you get a sense of, if you wanted to do this full workshop for your organization, you have a full understanding of what it looks like and what the workshop would look like. And all these workshops come with manuals, they come with material, reference materials and things of that nature. So you get a good amount of information with prevention with intention. So focus listening, it's a skill. You have to make a conscious effort, and listener is multitasking. So focus listening, it's hard to listen and multitask. Let's just be clear about that. Asking questions. Probing questions, relating them to the topic. Communicating with flexibility and authenticity. That means that I can be honest about who and what I'm saying. I can set a clear message and I don't sugarcoat things. Most people that know me know I do not. I don't sugarcoat things anymore, because I kept missing the mark with getting people to understand what I was saying and who I am. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Determines what the listener hears, emotions, tones, body language, and pitch. All of that stuff matters. So just be mindful, of your body language and your pitch and your tone. But just know that when you respond emotionally, it affects everything that happens around you as well. Articulating your emotions using language. Remember when we were little and they say, use your words. Use your words. Find the words. I respectfully challenge you to find the words and practice them with people that you love. I tell my kids, that hurt my feelings. Can we talk about it? Most of the times they say, no, Mom, you're being weird. But eventually we get to a place of talking about it. Giving in without giving up. This is something I'm practicing right now. And it's a delicate balance. Sometimes I look at a situation and I'm like, why even try? But finding ways to compromise, to accept others' ideas, but also keep my beliefs, right? Using coping thoughts. Taking a deep breath was a game changer for me. Stepping away from the issue was a game changer for me. And finding ways to be positive about something that I felt negatively in my body. So using those coping thoughts have helped me, and I practice that on a regular basis. I rarely get angry at people, and you see it. We know about using relaxation techniques, but we have to actually take the time to do it. And sometimes we have to do that in the workplace. Go in the bathroom, close the door, turn the lights off. Go in your office, but using that, it's all of this is self-care. I promise you, it is self-care. Bringing it all together, being able to relax, take control, and not allow negativity to get in, right? And that's something that it's so hard. If you watch the news, if you look at social media, you can easily get pulled into negative thinking, negative emotions. Disagreeing constructively. Being positive, productive, confirming someone's idea, and being able to present your own. These are things that take practice. The balance between optimism and pessimism. And sometimes this is really hard to do in the workplace, because there are some people who are really optimistic, especially when you first come into the field. You're excited. You're so excited about doing the work. And then there's somebody who's been there for 20 years and they're jaded. And you have to work with that. So how do you balance that without being extreme? Not giving yourself false hope. Being optimistic about everything could potentially lead a person away from reality, and taking the proper steps to resolve a situation. So being very careful about how to balance that is so important. Assessing a situation. Sometimes that means if I don't say anything, I come home and I get my journal and I start writing. That doesn't mean I get on the phone and I call all my friends who validate stuff that I need real feedback from. Assessing a situation sometimes means I need to be quiet and be still. Assessing a situation does involve getting feedback, but be careful who you get your feedback from. So taking a step back, being aware of your emotions and knowing what you are getting into. This will allow you to make more reasonable decisions rather than ones based on emotions. I've learned some lessons about saying yes to things that I should have said no to. Being zealous without being offensive. Striking that balance, focus on quality and renewed excitement. So I'm finding ways to be renewed in my excitement around the work, but I'm also trying to balance, not being offensive. And that's sometimes can be a challenge. So I want to say that these are, other skills in emotional intelligence. Having this awareness around the things that I shared today are the beginning of becoming emotionally intelligent, right? With everything in life, you must strive for balance, not extremism on the other end of the spectrum. This balance will not only bring internal stability for you, but it will also allow you to maintain equilibrium within your relationships, whether it's your personal relationships or your work relationships. And so everything that I shared with you today it's just really a beginning of a deeper dive into emotional intelligence. But I think that a lot of you today, if you walk away with just saying, okay, I never really paid attention to my emotions. And I think now I'm gonna take some time to effectively understand why I respond the way I respond. If you can do that in your life, in any area of your life, I promise you, you will benefit greatly. Words to the wise, Gandhi, an eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. Guy Finley, never speak out of anger, never act out of fear, never choose from impatience, but wait and peace will appear. I'm telling you, that quiet contemplation is a great place to do that. Somebody said, okay, do not sugarcoat in what, okay, got you. I didn't see that before. Brian Tracy, confidence on the outside begins by living with integrity on the inside. We are at the end of the workshop today, and I am deeply, deeply honored to be in a place to share information about emotional intelligence. One of the biggest gifts that I have been able to benefit from being emotionally intelligent is that I have peace of mind. I allow people to be who they are. I'm very, very grateful that I don't have to necessarily be in control of people's emotions or try to help them with their own emotions, because everyone processes differently, right? So I always encourage people, be angry, be sad, be discouraged. On the other side of that, what I ask you to do is to find a way to learn more about your emotions and how to practice being better at what you do. Because we have a big responsibility as certified peer specialists, as recovery coaches, as managers, as directors, as family members, to be responsible for our own emotional intelligence. And I'm really proud of what we're doing, but I am also asking us to do better. And I am here for that journey. Just to share, Prevention with Intention is a company that I started. It is intentional self-care in the workplace. And it is prevention, because when you began to become sick, I literally had to have throat surgery. Like, y'all may not know this, but I was down for a little bit because my voice I was keeping my mouth closed in areas where I should have been speaking up. When I did the quiet contemplation and the deep inner work around it, what I found was that I silenced my truth, and it caused me to be sick because I kept everything in. I could not swallow food. I was traveling and eating on the road a lot, and I thought, well, it must be the food that I'm eating. And I'm sure that that played a part in it as well. I wasn't allergic to anything. So I want to say that the soft skills training is a service that I provide to organizations, to groups, to treatment programs, to college students, to behavioral health workers around improving soft skills. So I teach soft skills to empower a workforce, to strengthen recovery coaches, to define, develop, and design recovery plans for health and wellness within the role of recovery coach. So as you can see on the screen, I have the soft skills training. That is just 10 of what I provide, but I have lots of trainings. Like I said, I made an investment in us. So go out and tell the people that you work with that Tatanisha Frazier has great information. You can scan the screen right now. At the very bottom is my website. And at the very top is my Facebook page. You can scan your computer right now and it'll take you straight to my website. I'd like to—
You got a couple of times, you got a little time because we got about 8 more minutes and we got one question. I don't know if we have any more.
Yeah,
I know we have one more question after you. Don't leave. I just want them not to leave.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, y'all. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to hear from you and just be mindful. We have 8 minutes, but we want to give some people an opportunity to share. And of course, go to my website, go to my Facebook page. I'm looking for people to come into a private community. Hit me up on my webpage and say that you came to this workshop and I will share a link with you and we can start to do some of that deep inner work together. But more importantly, I want to be in a space of us growing together and taking a look at who we are. So at this time, I'd like to open it up for any questions or comments from anyone in the audience. And I want to thank you again for being who you are and doing the work in our communities.
Thank you. Right now we have Pam. Pam, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so hey, Tatanisha. So you know, you said write down something that really stood out, and what really stood out, and I didn't get it all down, so I really want to know. There were 3 things you said. Do not sugarcoat. That really stood out for me today. Okay, do not sugarcoat, and you said honest. Do not sugarcoat, and there was one in the middle. It was set something. It was a slide, and I don't know if it was set clear intentions or what, but I missed it, and I want that really badly. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Well, Pam, I will go.
There it is.
Okay.
Set a clear message. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
That is okay. So thank you so much. Set a clear message. This has been really great. I wrote in the chat. I don't know if you saw it, but if webinars get me thinking, then that is a good thing for my recovery. Because growth and learning are essential for my recovery. I mean, otherwise I don't know what the hell it is. I mean, if I'm not learning and growing, then what the heck is it? You know, I've heard people say, if you're not growing, you're rotten, you know, and so I don't want to rot. I want to keep on moving ahead. And then the better that I am, the better I am for people that I'm serving. And for me, it is about freedom and enjoying life. And the more of this work that I do, the inner work that you're talking about, then I have freedom. And that's a big value for me. Freedom, you know, joy and happiness. Thank you so much. Love you so much. What a great thing.
I love Pam. Pam was one of the people that we started out, we went to CARES together. We got our first, big job together as certified recovery empowerment specialists. And I want you to know that you added value to my growth. You continue to add value to my growth. And I know that you adore and respect me, and you gave me space to figure things out. And I will never forget that. Part of my growth is because of you. So thank you, Pam. All right, who else? I see someone say they're trying to book a coaching session and it won't let, oh yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. There's an email, go ahead and send an email to me and I'll reach right back out to you. Yes, CARES 19 rocks. The slides are not shareable.
So we got Sabrina in here. Oh, you were saying that what?
No, go ahead, Sabrina.
I did unmute you, Sabrina.
All right. Thank you so much, Tatanisha. I needed this about 4 years ago. I've been waiting for you, and I've sat in a place where I've had to reevaluate myself because of some of this work that you talked about that I needed to do. And I didn't want to make another move in my life without having the direction to do that. So I have made a list to a plan in place to manage my feelings and emotions. These are the things that I need to do. But I am so grateful that you are doing this kind of work, because now I can proceed confident in what I'm doing because I have someone like you to guide me. And so whatever endeavor I go, I don't have to leave and I don't have to be less than. So I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful to you. We are going to continue to push through this work together. This information is available. I'm going to ask you to make an investment in yourself. So when I offer paid by the seat trainings, think about that in your budget. Okay? Because it's going to be important that we invest in ourselves.
Yes.
Because our employers are not going to always be responsible for providing training, but this professional development that I'm talking about is going to be key to how you to continue to do this work without losing your mind. Because you could lose your mind in the work, right? You can. So I want to thank you for saying that. I want to thank you for being here, and we'll continue to be working on this thing together. All right, anybody else?
We got Jennifer Yearwood. I think she's probably going to take us out. Go ahead, Jennifer, you're unmuted. Unmuted, I mean.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to echo on what Sabrina said. And Tatanisha, congratulations on your business. And I heard you say when you were speaking on it that you invested in us, and you really did. And I am also wishing, I know I came to one of your workshops. That's how I really got to know you. And I was just like, this is amazing. Why didn't anybody think of this before? Because I was one of those peer specialists that lost her mind in the work. I am one that, I relapsed. I just lost 8 years of clean time, but I did not lose my recovery. And thank God that there are people like you out there that understand and that make an investment. And I've seen what your prices are, and there's not a lot, and it is well worth it, because I had people introduce me in the field. Oh, this is Jennifer, and she's a hot mess. Oh, look, this is Jennifer. She is a lot. Get ready. She's hyper, because I was a big ball of excitement, hyperactivity, and basically a bunch of pent up hurt and trauma, that I let out in productive ways, but never learned to deal with it. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you. I'm so glad that this is available for us, and I love all y'all too. I see y'all in the chat. And I was glad to be able to sit here today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, it is 1 o'clock. I am grateful again to say to you that I'm proud of you. Keep doing the work, work on yourself, and continue to share the message of hope and recovery in a way that is going to be beneficial for the entire workforce. Thank you very much, Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, and thank you very much, Loree.
Thank you, peers, for being here. And I just want to thank you, Tatanisha. This was an amazing workshop. I got a lot of information that I needed to hear today, right now. So I thank you. I thank you for your investment. And I hope that you are just so successful in the rest of your journey. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all again that this webinar is going to be worth 1.5 to all 47 of you guys who stayed into the end. And thank y'all for doing the pre-assignments, everything that you did to prepare. And Tatanisha, everything that you did to prepare with this wonderful, wonderful slide deck. And just learning the information that you can give to us to help us in the workforce to do the work that we do. So thanks, everybody. And thank y'all for attending. We'll see you guys next month.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, Tatanisha. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Oh, the recording will be on the Georgia Council website if you would like to go back over it, okay? Anybody. All our webinars are there on the continuing education page. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.